Yo guys, what is going on? It's Tyrant LEIVR, back for another video, and today I'm going to be talking about why Call of Duty eSports is dying. So this game, World War II, came out less than 3 months ago. It came out, I believe, November 4th or so of 2017, and it is now February 1st of 2018, and the amount that I've seen Call of Duty World War II die is absolutely mind-blowing. So already there's pros that have quit because they can no longer compete. There's a ton of S&D streamers that have stopped streaming, stopped playing in tournaments, stopped caring, started playing other games. Even the pros, I never see them streaming. I never see them playing COD. They only play COD when they're scrimming and getting ready for events. And they even post or stream other games onto their Twitch channels. And these are just some of the reasons that COD has started to die. So I'm going to go over a couple big points here on why I believe COD is dying and how it could be revived in the future. And while most esports are growing exponentially, you have Call of Duty who's slowly, year by year, dying out. I'd say the peak of Call of Duty competitive was Black Ops 2 to Ghost Range, and over these past few years, the viewership and just excitement about the competitive scene has grown, or has decreased so steadily that it's actually mind-blowing. So here's just some of the ideas that I have. So first of all, from a competitive pro player standpoint, the biggest issue is the pro point system. The way that the seeding works for competitive CWL matches is with pro points. Now, pro points are earned from competing in tournaments and placing well as completing 5 game battles matches every day. For every 5 game battles matches you complete, I believe you get 35 pro points, if I'm not mistaken. I never competed in any of these because I was not a competitive respawn player. I just played S&D and pretty casually at that, but the pros were complaining because it was such a flawed system. Not only did you have to compete in 5 game battles matches, which were not very competitive at all, and were pretty much just 2 hours that you had to waste every day to compete in these matches, but also you're getting ranked with your pro points based on how you perform in online tournaments, and these online tournaments are actually determining what your seeding is for the LAN. So if you don't make the pool play in LAN, you're obviously not going to play as well or place as high, most likely, and so that's just a huge problem. So if you didn't have a very good team right off the bat in the game, you're now no longer going to be able to succeed in the COD World League, and that just kind of stinks because it all depends on who you started the game with and who your teammates were, how well you performed in these online tournaments right off the get-go. So that's the main problem from a pro player standpoint. Now the rest of these are kind of the amateur or lower level standpoint that keep the viewership down for the professional matches that are now happening in February. And so the big one is for the S&D community. The tournament sites have been so diversified over the past year that it's very hard to find a tournament site that has more than even 32 teams. Sometimes most of these tournaments only have 8-10 teams in them now, and so trying to play in a tournament that has a good amount of players where you can get a good amount of money from playing in them is so hard to find, because there's game battles, there's UMG, there's PvP Live, there's Checkmate Gaming, there's all sorts of tournament websites that are posting multiple tournaments a day just to try and attract players. But when all of them are doing this, you can only have so many players in all these different tournaments, and obviously it's going to decrease the amount of total players that are in tournaments. What needs to happen is there needs to be one tournament website that hosts tournaments, and there needs to be all the competition put into that one tournament site, and there need to be higher prizes. Now that's it. Another big issue is that even within the S&D community, all people care about at this point in the game is money. They all care about how much money they're making in the tournament, and they don't play regular game battles matches. I remember when I was younger, I used to get on and grind just regular XP game battles matches with my friends because it was fun. Nobody does that anymore. It's all about the money. Everyone's greedy. Everyone has a huge ego now, so no one wants to grind, and nobody wants to just play for fun. It's all about the money, which is ridiculous. Other issues that keep the viewership down are that there's no CWL like viewership integration within the game, or if there is, it's very limited. There's no advertisement for the COD World League matches that are ever happening. If you look at the Overwatch look at the Overwatch League and look at the League of Legends League and all these other esports, the Counter-Strike Major that just happened, you're going to see so much advertising, so much hype around all these big tournaments and all the players and interviews and everything that's going on. There's none of that for CWL. It's so limited to just the COD World League Twitter, and that's ridiculous. And then the last issue that I think that really keeps viewership down, and all the esports that are doing so well have very good ranked play systems. They have very good systems that are set in place to help the regular community get involved with the competitive community. And when the ranked play system in Call of Duty is so flawed, it's going to hold people back from wanting to play competitive and from learning about what competitive is all about. And just some of the issues within ranked player, teammates leaving and you still getting the loss for that match, the MMR being determined by wins and losses and not skill. If it was actually determined by how well you played within the match, that'd be so much better. And then booters, there's still people hitting people offline on these video games in 2018. Like, we should put that behind us and be able to have a system where you can't get booted offline for trying to play ranked. And so these are just some of the problems that affect Call of Duty and why I feel that the Call of Duty competitive scene is slowly dying.